What's up guys, this is Balázs from Racing Brick. Today I have a very surprising mix of LEGO products in front of me. Let me explain. These Technic pullback sets were introduced earlier this year. I have my usual building reviews about them on the channel, link is up here somewhere. These are pullback cars without steering or any other mechanical functions. In fact, these two don't have a single gear in them, which is quite a feat in a Technic set for 50 bucks. The Reddit value is supposed to be an augmented reality app that I only briefly tested in the review videos, as I only had access to a beta version back then that had lots of problems on my old iPad. The app now has a public release, and now I had a chance to try the Android version on my smartphone that has the required hardware power. I will show you the amazing details in a minute, but this got me thinking about all the different problematic augmented reality attempts in LEGO products from the previous years, how and why they keep failing. I have two examples here, a hidden side set called El Fuego Stunt Truck from 2019 and a few smaller video sets from last year. To be fair, I will also show some positive examples like the Zetros here. You might be surprised that it has anything to do with augmented reality. And one of the recent city missions says that technically don't use AR, but might show a good direction for LEGO for a mixed digital and real-life building experience. Let's start in chronological order. The Hidden Side set is a very cool build. I love the truck, the trike, all the characters have awesome custom details. I simply love this outfit, so as a LEGO build I think it is great. The truck even has some hidden tricks. A spring-powered mechanism to elevate the rear if you unlock it back here, and an interesting stepper mechanism here at the top to switch between the different colored cubes. I also like the design of the trike, and the fact that it is built around a linear actuator base is amazing. The retail price was 40 euros or dollars, which does not seem to be much for a 400-piece set. The Killer Croc set with a similar truck from a few years back was 70 euros or dollars, with almost the same piece count. Now here's the app that should elevate the whole play experience. The basic concept of Hidden Side was about ghosts and ghost hunting. We get some explanation at the beginning, then we have to select our set, give access to the camera, and then I'm supposed to scan my build, which simply doesn't appear. Try to restart the app, check the camera access, it is allowed, it still remains black. I checked the feedbacks on Google Play and a lot of people have this issue with all different kinds of devices, which is kind of frustrating. I wanted to try it on my iPad, but nope, it's not compatible, it's too old. Now here's my son's iPhone, finally it works on this. So I'm supposed to hunt some ghosts here, tapping everywhere like crazy, but my LEGO build is only a static background. The only interaction is the color changing mechanism at the back, but for some weird reason I am supposed to select red according to the instructions. Well, this is clearly not red, but okay. I can scan a minifig as well, but again, there's no interaction, and honestly, I'm not even sure what's happening here. I can collect tons of bonuses, even subscribers, which is funny, the whole thing looks very chaotic. In another mode I can be the ghost, but that has nothing to do with my LEGO build, and there's not even an option to stop or quit this level, it's a really bad UI design. The product line was discontinued in 2020, so we will see how long the apps will be available in the respective stores. Now let's see the video sets. Here I have two small boxes with minifigs and a separate one that's basically just the fig with the stand. The custom printed tiles will be scanned by the app, you can create video clips and they will add all sorts of effects to the scene or the characters. There's tons of work in the character design, I really like all the funky minifigures and there were much more of them. By the way, it always amazes me how we keep asking for custom pieces for years in the Technic line, for example, and some teams literally have dozens of unique one-time molds created. Sometimes strategies work in weird ways at LEGO. So, I'm clearly not the target audience for video, but here are a few annoying bits. You have to switch positions from portrait to landscape and back a lot of times. The app keeps loading a lot, and you need to pay attention as there are frequent downloads as well. At certain points it just kept loading forever, had to kill it and restart. Once I managed to finally scan my figures and the tiles, the clip creation works, but again, there's no real interaction with the LEGO pieces, they are simply used as collectibles to scan and add to the virtual inventory. This theme does not exist anymore either. After spending 7 months trying to rework the video experience, the folks at LEGO arrived to an interesting conclusion, they simply closed down the whole thing this January. The app will be kept alive for 2 years, but that's all. Now let's see the app that is still alive, sort of, the Technic AR experience. We have the two sets in the app, And here's a small detail that is not important at all, but for me shows the lack of attention to detail. There's a promo video with the Mustang about drag racing. It shows the car on the strip. We have multiple camera angles. Then it is simply cut here in the middle of the run. So here's the concept. Both cars have these levers at the back connected to a ratchet mechanism that can block the pullback motor. You wind it up, place it on the floor, then push the lever down and the car launches. In the app you need to set up virtual racetracks. They look cool and the identification of the car is much smoother on a modern device. This kept failing on my old iPad constantly. There's this warm-up session for the Mustang, which means you have to tap on the pedal to keep the motor in the green zone. You get something for being successful and then time to race. Racing means mostly this. There are some virtual opponents but you cannot see them. You have a time and you either win or lose. I'm not sure about you, but for me it got boring in like 5 minutes. The Porsche version is not very different. There's a minigame where you need to hit a specific area. You need to select carefully how much you wind up your model. This one at least requires some attempts to figure out. The other one is again a race style thing where you compete against the clock, and here's the funniest feature of the game, we have curved tracks. So to make it clear, these cars can't turn, they don't have any steering, they go dead straight. So how this works exactly? Well, the app will rotate the map for you. Does it make any sense? Not for me, but please let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong. There's another annoying bit with the cars. They are not freshly built and the launch mechanism has a tendency to jam. I push the lever, the car launches briefly then stops. It gets annoying after a while. So, why this AR experience is better than the previous ones but still not good enough? There's some interaction with the models this time. You put the real life build in a virtual scene, you take action and then something happens in the app. This part is okay. But on the other hand, the virtual part gets boring quickly. Measuring your time does not seem to be accurate or consistent, and the cars themselves are not that reliable either. So, at this point I don't think LEGO ever managed to find a working recipe for a good AR play experience, and until augmented reality means an application on our phones or tablets, I don't think they will ever succeed. Why? Well, because LEGO is played with your hands, and if you are holding a phone or a tablet, then you cannot play with the build, simple as that. Actually, if we don't want to desperately focus on playing with AR, then there are other exciting opportunities. That was my single positive experience with the technology and LEGO. The Technic Zetros profile in the Control Plus app has a great hidden feature. You can scan your model, and then you have a digital overlay on the build showing the internals. You can even switch it on. You can see how the differential lock is engaged and how the whole drivetrain works. It is simply awesome. But why was this a single-time experience? Why it isn't advertised anywhere like crazy? I think such demonstrations would have a huge potential. Imagine an app that lets you see the working internals of all the complex Technic models, or even better, show and explain how they work. Or even a wider concept. It could help you to troubleshoot during building, showing what and how supposed to work at certain stages. There are tons of great possibilities. Or if I don't focus on Technic, other builds could be shown side by side with the physical version during building, again for a quick comparison to see what went wrong, or to show how tricky assemblies need to work and so on. I'm sure you figured out my opinion by now. At this point, with this technology, I don't think LEGO should keep forcing this whole AR play experience thing, as these product lines are failing for a reason, and that reason is related to the poor digital experience and not to the sets themselves. AR would be cool to support building and could have an amazing educational value, but if you want to play with your sets, then you need your hands. Maybe if AR glasses will become common, then there will be new opportunities for a mixed experience, but honestly I don't think it is that necessary to focus on. Today, if you want to mix digital with real-life building, then the new City Mission sets are a great example. They provide the storytelling part within the app, but you need to build everything with the bricks, and you are encouraged to build your own solutions. There's no forced interaction with the app or anything that could cause potential technical issues. I think today this is the level where the mixed experience should stop, and besides this, LEGO should really focus on the stuff that made their products great in the past 90 years, the ability to build, rebuild, and combine all these in real life. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments, folks. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up. I also suggest to subscribe with notifications as more exciting LEGO videos are coming soon. See you next time, bye bye.